Now, a drug that can help control the skin condition psoriasis is now available on the NHS. It follows a U-turn by the health regulator NICE. The organisation initially rejected the use of Otezla last year, but has now approved the medication for severe cases. It's reckoned around 5,000 Londoners will benefit from the decision. Well, Holly Dillon has the condition and is behind the campaign group Get Your Skin Out. Good to see you, Holly. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Let's just talk about psoriasis initially. I think lots of people will have heard about it, but from your perspective as someone who suffers from it, do you find there's some ignorance there really in terms of what people think it is or how they deal with it?
Absolutely. I mean, I think psoriasis as a condition as a whole, be it from somebody that lives with it or people who work within it or the public perception, it is limited. You know, it is not on the health agenda like other skin conditions such as eczema. So, you know, there is needed a lot of work around to know what it is, and that, you know, can be, the biggest one is public perception and is it contagious or not. That is probably the biggest challenge that we face when living with it, and it's really difficult. So, you know, we need to know about new treatments like this and to kind of empower us as patients living with it, because it is a chronic disease that affects everything that you do. So it is under the radar, and there needs to kind of be more awareness about it.
You've said off camera that you are prepared to show us kind of what it's like. We can take a look now, if that's all right, of kind of what you deal with. Yeah,
sure. So I have a type of psoriasis that I've had for 12 years called guttate psoriasis. So that's one of many kind of various types that you can have. So visually it affects different. So you can see on my arm here, it kind of comes up like this, but I've been relatively clear this summer, so I'm going to get my skin out, and you can kind of see that it's kind of comes like this. So that's guttate, so it almost looks like chicken pox, which, you know, the biggest misconception with psoriasis is because it is so visual, people don't really know what it is, or they deem it as a vanity issue. But actually, the reality of the fact is, living with a condition that is chronic doesn't just affect you visually. You know, I mean, that is massively painful. I didn't sleep a wink last night. But, you know, there's also huge implications for your physical and mental health. It affects everything that you do. I recently just left my job because of it, because I need more time to really figure out how the hell you can live with a chronic condition. So it really is a challenge. And it's a job.
Yeah, and do you find it kind of flares up as well? You can have good days and bad days.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the biggest thing is everybody living with psoriasis, it really is an individual case. So, you know, from down to treatment to approach to kind of what are my triggers, it might be like that for me, but if you were to have it, it might be different. So it really is quite an individual thing. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, the weather for me is a huge thing. So I've been relatively clear all summer, and now that we're heading into the lovely winter, I'm like this, you know, this is the last month, and that is everywhere. That's in my scalp, that's on my arms, that's on my back, that's on my legs, you know, so it really is on my face. I've got a bit of makeup on, but it is there. You know, it's a huge ordeal.
Yeah, I know that you haven't personally had any experience of this new drug, and that you don't know a huge amount about it at this stage, but just how important is it that there are processes in place trying to improve conditions for people like yourself?
When you live with a chronic condition, to hear that there are teams behind research and making new implications to make sure that, you know, they are fighting towards a cure or to help reduce it, you know, that is brilliant. You know, that's all we want to hear. But the big thing for us is that there's a huge gap for us to be able to understand that knowledge and to even get to a point where we are being allowed to know what those treatments are. Because, you know, for us to even be able to, for your GP to be able to not make you use steroid creams and to be able to get into a specialist dermatologist to know about these treatments can go on for years and years. And from the people that I speak to, including myself, you go around the houses and there's a huge disparity for getting kind of diagnosed correctly the first time and then into a place where you are kind of given the knowledge and the education that you need, because anybody living with psoriasis wants control. You can't get control because it's a chronic condition that currently has no cure, but a part of that is having the education and understanding of what is available. So it's partly coming from us to be an empowered patient, but also there's a huge responsibility that lies within GPs and dermatologists. You know, I love the NHS, but it is a struggle and it needs to be improved.
Yeah, I guess all of this is behind the reason why you set up the campaign group, Get Your Skin Out.
Yes.
You want people in your position proud's probably not the right word, but to not be ashamed, to come out and be open about the fact that they're living with this condition.
Yes, so I started the campaign Get Your Skin Out last year on social media with the hashtag Get Your Skin Out. And it kind of came from a place where I needed help. I was at a real low, I'd gone through many, many treatments, and I just thought, you know, I need some kind of human emotion behind this that wasn't seeing a dermatologist every 6 to 12 months. So Get Your Skin Out is an online community, and it's about building that community where people can share and identify and kind of have a human element to living with a chronic condition that is about sharing, you know, their outlook or their treatments, or, you know, how they managed to go swimming each summer in a bikini covered in psoriasis. You know, it is about creating friendships, and ultimately Get Your Skin Out is I guess, friendly, polite order to get your skin out, to not be defined by living with psoriasis, and to be empowered by it, and to start a conversation, because that is the only way we are going to get it on the health agenda and have it realised as something that is a huge, huge impact on your life.
Yeah, indeed. Holly, lovely to talk to you. Thank you for joining us.
Much.
Holly Dillon there from the campaign group Get Your Skin Out. As Holly mentioned, if this is something which affects you, well, there is one place you can go to speak to other people dealing with it, to get support and to share thoughts about this new treatment. That is, NICE has today done a U-turn on Otezla, which is said to make big improvements to those with the severe condition psoriasis. You're watching London Live News. Still to come.